Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Literally What, and happy Sunday. It feels weird filming not on a Saturday, but this week and next week episodes are going to be up on Sundays. So just a little housekeeping for that. I'm actually going on a road trip this weekend to see my sister. We're going to see Dancing with the Stars live in Atlanta. And you guys know, like, I'm obsessed with Dancing with the Stars. So she got me that for Christmas, and I am so excited to just spend time with her and go see all of the stars, and it's gonna be so fun. So I will be there this weekend, so next week's episode is also going to be up on Sunday as well. I think that's everything announcement wise. And then again, if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you so much. I upload every single week to YouTube. So you can see my pink background. You can see my cat sometimes, my dog. You know, you see something new every single week. And then if you're listening to this, make sure to give it a 5-star review, Apple or Spotify, and then make sure to go follow the Instagram because I really do want to try and continue to grow this podcast, and that is one of the biggest ways to do that. So I think that's everything. This morning I went to Starbucks, and let me just say, like, sometimes like the littlest things just put you in the worst mood. And I did a mobile order, and I got a venti iced blonde vanilla latte. Normally I'm a matcha girl or like a pink drink. I don't really get coffee at Starbucks. But today I was like, you know what? Like a blonde latte would be so good. And whenever I get that, I always do extra caramel drizzle because the caramel drizzle is like my favorite part and like the reason I get it. And so I pull up and there's like no caramel at all, which is fine. But it's like, first I paid extra. Second, I really only like the coffee drink because of the extra caramel in it. So now I'm just like in a mood, but it's okay. Now I'm just going to talk to you guys and gossip. So I'll be in a much better mood. But anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I can't wait to chat with all of our fun stories today. We have a lot of recaps, a lot of good stories. We have to recap the Super Bowl because that feels like it was forever ago and it was literally last week. What a crazy time that was. So we have so much to get into. Super excited. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get you some hot gossip, hot takes, stories, and advice. Though I have you saying literally what? All right, first of all, you guys, Super Bowl. I genuinely cannot believe that was a Super Bowl that we watched last week. And I wasn't going to watch it, but I was like, I want to see the commercials. I want to see the halftime show. And it was nothing like how I thought it would go. And I'm sure everyone, literally everyone, if you bet money on what you would have thought, I'm sure people thought the Chiefs would have won, or, you know, they would have at least scored before halftime. So that was genuinely crazy. Like, what a time to be live. But basically just at the beginning, it was so crazy because you could tell it was very heavily Eagles fan based at the stadium. So when both teams were doing their walkout, a lot more Eagles fans for sure. I saw that Taylor Swift got booed, and a lot of people were making it political, or they were making it, you know, I don't know what they were even talking about, but I was just like, I feel like Eagles fans are really crazy and like would have booed anyone if they were put on the screen that was like a Chiefs fan, because there were just so many Eagles fans at the stadium. Like, I just thought it was kind of crazy how many Eagles fans, at least from what I could tell on the TV. And going into halftime, you guys, it was 24-0. Like, I was sitting there the whole time. My eyes were glued to that screen because I was like, there is no way this is happening. And it was just like insane to watch. And even me, like, I don't know a ton about football, but I was like, okay, well, I feel like a lot of times Chiefs come back, and I think it was, I don't want to say his name wrong, Tom something, y'all are gonna hate me. I could see his face. He was married to Giselle. Anyway, everyone was saying like, well, when he was on a team, like, they came back like 28-3, whatever. So everyone was kind of thinking like, oh, the Chiefs are just gonna like bring it back. No, they literally didn't. That was genuinely crazy. And I think the craziest part for me was when Jalen did the what was it? He got like a 60-yard touchdown. It was like called a touchback or something. I was learning so many new like phrases and things because I was on Twitter. I'm on Twitter now. Yeah, I'm so crazy. But I like having Twitter now so I can like have live updates of things. And so I was learning so many like different football terms, and it was just so crazy. And then by the end, I think the Chiefs were putting in like, or not Chiefs, the Eagles were putting in like second string, third string or something like that. And so obviously the Chiefs like kind of pulled it back up, and I think it ended up being 22-40, which if you didn't watch the Super Bowl, you'd be like, okay, it's not like that crazy. But no, it was basically a blowout, and like the Chiefs literally, I feel like, only got points because the Eagles were like, screw it, I mean, we're already winning this thing. I mean, they were throwing Gatorade on the coach, and generally like the coach of the Eagles, I was like so happy. He was like literally crying, and then his kids and wife went up to him at the end, and his son was like, you won. And it was just so sweet, like so sweet. And then Patrick Mahomes, like, you guys, he got sacked so many times. I think he was sacked like a record amount in like a Super Bowl. And obviously, like, I didn't want the Chiefs to win. They're like annoying to me. I think their ego was a little crazy going into it. So at first I was like, yeah, like, you guys aren't all that, blah, 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 blah. And then once he kept getting sacked, and like you could just tell like the Chiefs, like, at that point, I was like, I feel really bad. And I was talking to my husband. I was like, why can't they just end the game? Like, they're not going to win. Like, why can't they just end it? Because this is just like embarrassing now. But yeah, just really crazy game. Not what I expected to happen at all. And I also feel like people who are really big football fans, and especially who paid thousands and thousands of dollars to go to the Super Bowl, probably are really pissed off that the Chiefs didn't win and it was that bad. But also, like, they didn't really give viewers of the Super Bowl like a good game to watch. You know what I mean? I feel like in the Super Bowl, it's like two really good teams who are going to give us a really great game to watch, and it was like just like two completely different level teams. Like, it was genuinely crazy. So I feel like if the Bills were in it against the Chiefs, it would have actually been a good game to watch, because at that point I was like, this is just tough to watch now. But I'm also really happy for Jalen, because at the beginning they were interviewing him about how like his lock screen was him at the Super Bowl when the Chiefs won, and it was like the Chiefs color confetti raining down on him, and that was kind of giving him motivation for this year. And so now he can have a picture of like the Eagles confetti on his lock screen, and it was just so sweet. And then like when it was the coach doing the interview with his family, like that made me tear up, and like I was glad that they won. I did feel bad for the Chiefs, but like it just shows that sometimes you can't let ego go to your head. And not that I think all Chiefs players have like a huge inflated ego, but I think this was kind of a shock to everyone, and I think they definitely went in there expecting to completely win. Definitely not go into halftime with no points. Like, they were sucking. And especially, like, I don't really know that much about football, but I was just watching, and the Eagles were making it look so easy. Like, it looked like they were playing like a high school team, like a college. Like, it was so weird. I was like, the Eagles are making like the easiest plays. They're catching every ball. Like, this is wild. And the Chiefs like aren't doing anything. Like, what's going on? I was like, these are the two teams in the Super Bowl. So yeah, crazy game. Glad I watched. Hopefully next year we'll have a better game that's more exciting to watch, because that was wild. But now we have the commercials, which are one of the best parts personally for me of the Super Bowl. Ever since I was a kid, I would always look at like my favorite commercials, write down my favorite ones, rewatch them. Commercials are just so fun at the Super Bowl. And it had me thinking, like, why are all commercials not like this? Because I feel like when a commercial has a really great like storyline, or like whoever wrote it and directed it, like that company tends to start skyrocketing for a little bit. And I'm like, why wouldn't companies just have really cool commercials all the time? Because a lot of commercials just suck and are so boring. Anyway, wrote down some of my favorites and ones that I think a lot of people are going to remember for a very, very, very long time. There's one specific Super Bowl commercial that I always remember, and it's the like baby monkey one. I don't know if anyone remembers that one. That's the one that's always been stuck in my head. But this year there were some really crazy ones that are going to give baby monkey a run for his money, because whoever came up with some of these, I was like, you're weird. Okay. But the first one that I saw, I actually didn't start like really focusing on the commercials until like after the first quarter, I think, because for a second, like we had so many appetizers and snacks, like it was crazy. And then I was like, wait a second, like they have good commercials too. Like, you need to sit down and start watching these commercials. So the first one that I saw that really stuck out was the Pringles mustache commercial. I thought that was a really funny one and just like really weird. My personal favorite one was one of the old ladies, I think they were golfing or something, and it was Tick Picks. And she was like, oh, look what my boyfriend sent me. And then the friend was like, oh my gosh, that's so nice. And she was like, yeah, he sent me a tick pic. And everyone's like, huh? But it's for like tickets. But I was like, that got my attention, and I'm sure it got everyone else's attention who was watching. So that was a really good one. The I'll have what she's having mayonnaise one, I don't remember that one, but I did write it down. So maybe that was memorable. but clearly not because I don't remember what that one was at all. This one had a lot of like 50-50 if people liked it or not, but the Angel soft bathroom break commercial, it was basically like, we have 15 seconds of airtime and we're going to give you 50 seconds to go take a bathroom break, which I think was really smart. I've never really seen a commercial like that, and I did take a bathroom break when she told me to. I wish it was 30 seconds. I think it was 15, I'm pretty sure, because I was like, that's not a long time to go to the bathroom, but I thought it was a really cute commercial, and I personally enjoyed it. Some people I saw online were like, this is so annoying, but I was like, this is cute. Like, go to the bathroom. Like, what? The Snickers lava was like interesting, kind of weird, out there, very cinematically nice to look at. And then we have the two weirdest ones that have been all over, and I just don't know where these writers are coming up with these ideas, because it's not making me want to buy these products. The first one, the Coffee Mate Creamer. If their goal was to have people get grossed out by Coffee Mate Creamer, they succeeded, because who's going to want to buy Coffee Mate after seeing this commercial with the tongue? And like, it was so gross. Like, I don't know what they thought was going to happen, but that was genuinely awful. But the one that was worse to me, and I don't even remember what the commercial was for, but I have the image stuck in my head, and I saw on my phone recently the commercial again, and I like got re-scarred over it because it's so creepy. And it is the hat one, where it's like these men are wearing cowboy hats. Well, I think it was like a baby, and they were getting like ultrasound on the baby, and had like a cowboy hat head, but it's their skin, and it's a cowboy hat, and it's so disturbing, like awful. I have it like severed, like it's in my head, and it's so, I can't even. Speaking of, way sidetrack, my husband and I started watching Severance. Amazing. We watched 3 episodes last night and had to go to bed because it was like 10:30. Amazing show. We will be finishing binging that probably today and tomorrow, because tomorrow's President's Day. But anyway, but whoever came up with that, and I don't even know what the company, like what it was for. All I know is it's like the skin cowboy hat, and it's disgusting and gross and like traumatizing. So like, I just know if I was like a young kid and I was watching that commercial, that would scar me the rest of my life, because I'm literally 25 and that has already scarred me. So I don't know who came up with that, but you are the worst for that. Those are all the most memorable ones for me. I'm sure there were way more, but yeah, some really weird ones. I know we had the Poppi one, but we're gonna get into that because we have a story about Poppi later on. Yeah, so last but not least, the Super Bowl, the halftime show. I don't know why this was so 50-50. I saw a ton of people being like, hate this sucks, and then people being like, I love it. Here's the thing, like when it comes to just anything in general where most of the population is watching, I feel like it's always 50-50. There's always going to be haters. There's always going to be people who love it, because everyone likes different things. And that's something that I've really learned as I've gotten older, is like every single person has different opinions. And like, that's so normal, because why would you want a world where everyone literally has the same opinion about everything? That would be so boring. But I think what it comes down to is like, there's so many people, specifically like my generation, like my age, like we all know the whole Kendrick and like Drake beef, and like him coming out and singing Humble, DNA, songs that I grew up with in high school, songs he has recently released, and then especially singing the Not Like Us. You know, I think adults too, and like people who are a little bit older who don't know about the whole Kendrick Drake beef probably aren't like, oh, I love this halftime show. But for me, I mean, I've been singing the whole Not Like Us, doing his little dance, say Drake, smile at the camera, since Super Bowl, and it's been like living rent free in my head, right? So I think it really just depends on if people know what's going on or not. And I feel like a lot of people either know Kendrick or don't. So like, of course, people are gonna be like, that was so boring, when people might not even really know, because he's not like the most well-known singer in the world. But he also, I just personally loved like how he did it, like with all the props and the moving, and like how the cameraman, first of all, if you've seen behind the scenes of the cameraman, like that cameraman needs a raise, because he was doing so good. But he had so many different like symbolism, like things going on. He had like a whole like PlayStation like controller. He had like, of course, it's a red, white, blue America. He had Uncle Sam. He had like so many things. And I'm not going to go all into it, because I think there were so many things that he did like to make a stand, and there was so much symbolism in it, and like I didn't understand all of it, but I know that there was so much that played into it, that if you're just looking and not really looking into what he was trying to do, you're probably like, this was so boring, but he had a ton of symbolism. I loved the American flag. I loved all the songs he sang. I like Kendrick Lamar, though, so of course I'm gonna like this. I love the whole Kendrick Drake drama. Like, I think for Kendrick, it's like he is showing us that we're not being petty enough. And if you are petty enough, you can A, win a Grammy, and you can B, sing at the Super Bowl and smile at Drake and be like, yeah, that's right, I'm singing this song about you, the biggest diss track that won a Grammy, and now I'm singing at the Super Bowl, and everyone in the crowd is singing the A minor line, which, oh my gosh, I wish one day I can be at a place where everyone is singing that line. Yeah, I thought it was just so good. And then we have Kendrick Lamar's jeans. So the second I saw his jeans, I literally looked at my husband and I said, his jeans look so comfy. Me thinking this is an original thought and I need to look into what jeans he's wearing after the Super Bowl. And then I go online and I see everyone and their mother talking about his jeans. And I'm just sitting here thinking, I have never had an original thought in my entire life. And apparently everyone had the same thought as me. Everyone started to try and find out where his jeans were from. They were over like $1,000 online. People found them and they ended up getting sold out. And it's like, okay, well, it just proves that we really don't have an original thought. But I just thought that was so funny because everyone was talking about it. And I was like, oh, here I am thinking I'm different than everybody else. So that was really funny. And people found dupes of them too. But like he did look really, really comfy. Overall, loved his Super Bowl. Personally, again, I know it's not going to be everyone's cup of tea. Every Super Bowl is not going to be everyone's cup of tea unless it's like Post Malone or like Miley Cyrus or like who else would be good up there? Justin Bieber. Like I feel like unless you're super well known. And then of course we had SZA who came out looking so good. I love her so much. And then we also had Serena Williams, which if you didn't know, she used to date Drake. So that was kind of, I think, another like diss to Drake that Kendrick did, which was kind of funny. But overall, I really thoroughly enjoyed this Super Bowl. I loved every single part, every aspect. So again, that's just my opinion. You might have hated it, but I loved it. So there you go. But let's get into our first story that, again, has to kind of go back to the Super Bowl commercials, and that is Poppi. So the Poppi founder has been facing backlash for a vending machine campaign that she did prior to the Poppi commercial. So Poppi, first of all, their budget must be hella high because they had so many celebrities in their Poppi commercial, like Alex Earl, Jake Shane, Noah, Noah Beck, I believe was in that one too. So they had a really big Poppi commercial at the Super Bowl. And then before that, they did this whole campaign where basically they sent out Poppi vending machines to influencers. And it had major backlash, major controversy that I saw the like campaign they were doing. I saw like all the people that I follow with like the vending machine. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. Like cute. And I didn't even know there was a ton of backlash, but there is so much backlash on this. So basically, the marketing campaign leading up to their Super Bowl commercial, they sent branded vending machines to 32 separate influencers, including Shane, Rachel Sullivan, Avery Woods, Emily Kaiser, just a bunch of like really well-known influencers who have very high following on TikTok. And so the influencers posted videos that got millions of views, but the public's reaction was as ice cold as the soda Stockton machines. That's a great line. So people were saying they should have given those to college dorm rooms or athletic departments. I'm definitely not buying another one. Wouldn't this be great to put in the hospital to share with everybody? It blows me that brands still don't understand that consumers don't want to see already wealthy influencers getting PR. Just a lot of, why are we giving this to influencers who have the money and the means, I guess. I was kind of shocked at this. Not that I don't agree that, it would have been great for them to give them to like a hospital or like other people who would have needed it. But we see this all the time. Like any brand who is doing a campaign or anything public relations related, like they're giving it to influencers. We see this on the Tarte brand trip. They're not inviting people who don't have at least like 1 million plus followers on their brand trip. So I was just shocked because this is like our society. This is like how social media is. And this is what brands do. Like brands go above and beyond all the time for these very high followed influencers. So I was just shocked that people were giving attention to the Poppi one when this happens all the time with other brands. And, she came out and apologized and owned up to her mistake. I thought this was just taken really far out of proportion. I didn't really see why people were freaking out over this, just because this happens all the time. And it's like, why are you not going to get mad at all these other brands? Why are you getting mad at just Poppi? And this is coming from someone who, I'm an Olipop girl over Poppi, sorry. But Olipop was apparently also in Poppi's comments, like causing some drama as well, because they're very competitive with each other. So while I can see what people were saying, I just thought this wasn't really needed, because I'm like, people do this all the time. Like, brands do this all the time. Like, I don't know why we're just hating on Poppi for that. So anyway, that was a big thing on the internet. And then after their Super Bowl commercial, everyone was like, how much money does Poppi have for this? Because that is crazy. But the funny thing about the vending machines is that they literally took them back. Like, it wasn't like they were giving these people vending machines. They were just bringing it to the influencers so that they could make a video, and then they would take the vending machines back with them. So I don't know. Would I want a Poppi vending machine in my home? I mean, like, yeah, it'd be cool, but like, that's not like a needed thing. But I don't know. That's just what brands do. Like, they give it to influencers who have a mass following. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on that one, but that was just my opinion on the whole situation. All right. So our next story is about one of the secret lives of Mormon wives who we actually, like, I don't think if we were sure she was coming back for a second season, but Jennifer AFFLEK, she is pregnant with baby number 3. Now, this came as a shock, I'm sure, to everyone, because she has been like teasing a divorce from her husband since last October. Obviously, if you've seen season 1, her husband is just like the worst. And everyone was assuming they were going to get a divorce, or at least telling her that she should get a divorce. And you just have to watch back like their whole story. But basically, after she was teasing this divorce, like making videos about it, like not wearing a wedding ring, and I don't know again if that was just like build up to the second season, but then she came out and announced she was having baby number 3 with her husband. So it did come as a surprise to them, which is, a lot of people are like, okay, so maybe like, was she gonna, like, were they in the middle of a divorce separation, like she got pregnant, and like, so there's a lot of timing issues that people were talking about as well. But she said, I was a few days late. While it was a surprise, we both had a feeling there was another baby waiting for us. We were very excited. There were a lot of emotions after a very crazy year. So yeah, I don't know. I was very shocked. Because again, they did not have a great storyline of their marriage in season 1. And she even did an interview where she was saying like, season 1 took a toll like on my marriage, and everyone was like, no, I'm pretty sure it's your husband that was taking a toll on the marriage. And so she said, I'm not sharing all the details online, but it's been essential for our relationship and mental health to keep our journey private until we're ready to talk about it. So people also didn't really think that she was coming back for season 2 because he didn't want her to. Again, he was literally the worst. So she is, though, coming in to season 2 with a lot of baggage. But yeah, this was shocking to me, because I think people were expecting like a divorce or separation announcement, or like her not coming back announcement. And then the baby announcement was kind of like, whoa, that was out of nowhere. So again, obviously happy for them. A baby is always an amazing miracle. So hopefully she has a safe and healthy pregnancy. And that they can work through their issues. And again, we never really know what's going on behind closed doors. Again, like, it could have all been for show. I don't think so. But like, yeah, we'll just see how it goes in season 2. Kind of crazy though, teasing a divorce and then announcing a baby. It's good PR for the show though, let me tell you that. All right, our next story, Selena Gomez announces a new album with her fiance, Benny Blanco. So she basically posted on Instagram and commented, I always trick you guys. My new album, I Said I Love You First, with my best friend, Benny Blanco, is out on March 31st. So they did come out with their first song. It's called Scared of Loving You. And you can also buy merch for their album. And I'm just like, I'm so happy for her, because I feel like she obviously, like, music, acting, like, she definitely has said before she loves acting. And that's like kind of what she wants to put her focus on. But we all know, like, she's a singer. Like her songs are bops, and I'm so happy that she's able to be with this man who treats her amazing and come out with music with him. Like that's so amazing. And to see like her just like progression from singing like I needed to lose you to love me, and now she's singing a song about like now I'm just scared of loving you because like I don't want to lose you, and just seeing her, you know, from heartbreak to now coming into like this amazing relationship and being in love. Just very opposite vibes, like 360 of what we've seen from her growing up. So I'm just so happy for her. And I'm sure this is like really healing for her to kind of have this love album come out and not like a heartbreak album. And the song I think is beautiful. It's very kind of like a lullaby. It's very like slow and like soft and sweet. So I'm excited for the album. I hope there are like some pop songs in there because I don't know, she's as good at that stuff. But also, did you guys see like what he did for her for Valentine's Day? He literally had a trail of like tortilla chips and then a bathtub full of nacho cheese, which like kind of gross, but also, I mean, we know they had like talk about their engagement. So food is the way to the heart, that's for sure. But very excited for them. Alrighty, our next story, a little bit of an update that kind of goes along with the Summer House season 9 has premiered, and I watched episode 1 and it just made me so happy, like so much serotonin. Like if you want a really good show to just binge watch, I would watch Summer House and start from season 1. I binged it in like a few months last year, and it's like one of my favorite reality TV shows. Basically, it's these group of friends who work 9 to 5s in New York City, and then on the weekends they go to the Hamptons, and like there's so much drama and it's amazing. It's so good. But anyway, season 9 came out, and if you remember, Paige DeSorbo and Craig Conover broke up a little bit ago, and so both of their shows, they're on 2 different reality shows. Paige is on Summer House, Craig is on Southern Charm, and so it's kind of, you know, now it's coming out and people, you know, they have different storylines about what happened, and so on Summer House we saw the season trailer, and basically the season trailer, Paige was talking to her friends saying like, you know, I think this was after they broke up, because I think they picked up cameras after they broke up, and they were doing some storyline on Southern Charm about how like Paige wanted Craig to get a ring and Craig got a ring and then he broke up with her. Well, then on Summer, and then of course there were all the cheating allegations for Paige and Craig didn't really say anything. So then in Summer House, I think the storyline they were going with is Paige was saying like, well, I saw him texting 2 bitches, so I don't know like what he's talking about. So that was kind of like a bombshell that was dropped, because it was, yeah. So it was filmed 6 months after the rest of their season. So I think they picked cameras back up for sure. And then he went on a separate interview after seeing that, and he was like, it was disappointing to see the direction that her and the show went, because again, both their shows have the same storyline, but I think they're telling it differently. And again, like we're not gonna know exactly what happened. I think there's 2 sides to the story and then kind of like a little middle to it. But yeah, I was kind of shocking for her to say that, and I don't know if she was just saying that because she was getting, you know, people were saying that she I don't know, it was very weird. But he basically denied it and said, you know, he didn't want to say too much about it because, you know, he wants to let the show tell the story. But it's got to be weird, like being broken up and then like you have to rewatch things on these reality shows that you film together. So very interesting, and we'll see what more comes out of it. I don't watch Southern Charm, so I don't really know what he's saying about the situation, but yeah, I wonder if we're gonna see him on Summer House if he went on the show before they broke up. Anyway, and then our last little feel-good story before we get into our TV recap, you guys, is about this little fish who he just wanted to see the light. So I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it was an anglerfish, and he was spotted on the ocean's surface, and they're called black sea devils, and it was really crazy because they live up to 15,000 feet under the Earth's surface, and they live in the dark. They have their own little light that they make for themselves, and there was somehow some researcher who had a camera at the exact time this little anglerfish was coming up, and it was at the surface of the ocean, and it was so cool to see because it looked, if you're looking at the picture, like it looks like it's smiling up at the sun, and everyone was like, oh my gosh, it gets to see like light that's not made by itself, like it gets to see actual sunlight. And then apparently they were working on it for an hour, and then it did pass away. But it's honestly like kind of sweet and heartwarming to be like, this was like the first recorded sighting of this anglerfish. It's in the broad daylight. It's on the surface. Like, this is so rare. And it says it's a legendary fish that few people will have had the privilege of observing alive. And they live in the midnight zone, so it's complete darkness, right? And so there's really nothing down there. And then just to see that it was able to swim to the surface and see all this light, and I'm like, what was it thinking? Like, it made me like so, like, I don't know why I was like so sad, and knowing that like it died, but I guess it got to see the light before it died. Like, that is just so inspiring. Like, that's so crazy that like we got to experience seeing this. Like, is that not crazy? I don't know. When I saw that, I was like very emotional, and I had to tell you guys about it because it was so sweet. But anyway, crazy stuff, crazy times. So now we can get to our little TV recaps. We're gonna do Traitors, and then we'll do Bachelor. Traitors, listen, I said I wasn't gonna like it as much that Boston Rob is gone, but it was a really funny episode, especially the little challenge that they did. So we ended where the Traitors had to kill off one person face to face. I didn't want it to be Dylan. I didn't really care if it was anyone else. And they ended up killing off Chriselle, which was kind of smart because, first of all, she's literally so dumb. Like, she doesn't even vote with the crew. Like, she never really has any inkling that's correct. So I was fine with her leaving. And the challenge was very dumb. It was basically they were split up half and half, and half of them had to like listen to these dolls, and they were singing a nursery rhyme backwards. And Tom Sandoval, you guys, I hate this man, obviously, but he was made for TV. He was so funny. Like, you guys should go watch clips. He was like making the weirdest noises, and like he won the challenge for them. He was just, I was like laughing so hard. And then we go to the round table, and he literally just like, he is a character because he's literally at the round table, right? And he literally says that it's more likely, females are more likely to be cheaters, okay? And everyone's like, you did not just say that. And he was like, no, I meant to say traitors. And I'm like, you can't even like script stuff like this. Like, that was just insane that he said that. And then he dug himself another hole, but he's making the show interesting, that's for sure. It was genuinely crazy. So then we keep going to the round table, and they just wanted to kill off the coffin theory, which honestly, I mean, if you've seen it before, a lot of the times, like, normally they do put a traitor up if there's like 3 people the traitors have to put up. So they just wanted to get rid of it and kill off Sierra just to make sure to get out of the way, which, you know, they gotta go somewhere with evidence at some point. So she was obviously a faithful. And yeah, I don't know what direction they're going to go now. A lot of them are kind of picking up on the whole Danielle and Brittany gamer thing. And I wonder who they're going to like seduce to become a traitor with them. I think Gabby would be hilarious. I think who else would be good? I think Dylan would be funny, but I don't think they're going to have a male traitor because they're never going to, you know, banish a male, I don't think, for a while. I think Gabby would be so funny. Like, she would be so funny, you guys. And she's such a faithful right now that no one would expect her at all. So, as long as they don't do Brittany, because, like, Brittany and Danielle will so get rid of Carolyn. And I want Carolyn to win because she is my favorite traitor because Danielle sucks. But, yeah, really funny episode. I'm excited for next week. And, yeah, that whole Tom challenge situation was hilarious. All right, so we have Bachelor episode 3 recap. This episode, this show is just getting so boring, and I'm like happy that I guess that they canceled The Bachelorette because this is just, I can't anymore with the show. It's literally so boring. But Carolina, Beverly got one-on-ones, and then Beverly went home. They were making it so dramatic, but I think she did an interview and literally just had appendicitis. So like, I don't know why they couldn't have just said that. Juliana, Chloe are my queens. Latia is a queen, and Chloe obviously went home, which is sad. But I don't really think her and Grant had that much chemistry. But we had the group date, Bachelor School of Finance. These group dates are getting just so stupid and boring. And they had Hannah Berner, who I don't like, because if you've seen Summer House, she's just like the most annoying human being on earth. And like, I used to love her. I used to listen to her podcast all the time. And then when I started watching Summer House and getting to the season she was on, I was like, you are so annoying. And then she actually ended up getting fired, I believe, from the show. So anytime I see her, I'm just like, oh, I just think of her in Summer House, and like, I can't, like, I literally can't with her. Zoe is just always a wreck still. She's always in the worst mood ever, and I need her to leave. I feel like she won't, but like, I need her to go because she's the worst. And it's interesting that like they're giving her like a villain cut, but she's always vibing with Grant. Like, they have great chemistry, so I don't know what's up with that. And then like the shortest dress comment, I mean, it was really funny, but they are so grasping for straws for any slight piece of drama for the show, and I'm just like, y'all are so dumb for this. Like, this is not drama at all. I wrote down again, like, he likes Juliana so much. Like, if you watch their interaction, like, he's literally in love with this woman. Like, any interaction, it's crazy. And then Parisa got the group date rose, which I was like kind of shocked. And then Carolina had her one-on-one date where they were jumping off this building in Las Vegas, which low-key, it wasn't like it was kind of a free fall, but I feel like they lowered them down slowly to the point where I was like, I can maybe do that. It didn't look like too difficult. And then we had another group date since Beverly went home, where Lisa Vanderpump showed up, which was so funny. But it was Latia, Serafina, and Dina. And then Latia got the dinner date with him, and then they FaceTimed her mom. So I'm like, okay, the edits they're giving Latia and Juliana, like, they have to be top two. They have to be top two. And I haven't seen spoilers, you guys. Like, that's literally just me watching how they're being edited, because I've seen The Bachelor so many times, and like, the edits are so obvious with how they do certain things. And then we have the drama. Oh my gosh, I literally cannot with this. So basically, Carolina starts crying because she says that she had an off-camera conversation with Rose, and Rose told her that while he was dancing with Carolina, he told Rose that he was thinking about her on the group date. Okay. So then we rewind the cameras, right? And what Grant says is he was talking to Rose, but he was referring to the whole group date as one, and basically saying like, you know, even going back to like the group date and we were all dancing, like, I was thinking of you. He never once singled Carolina out. Okay. So number one, she got that was all misconstrued and miscommunicated. Number two, even if he did tell Rose that, why are you going and telling Carolina that? That is red flag, drama, immature behavior. I don't care what y'all have to say. I don't know why these people are like blaming Grant for saying that, because he literally didn't. Like, it was such a big miscommunication. Like, he literally was just saying, like, I was thinking of you. In general, when he was dancing with everyone, he never once said Carolina. And number two, even if he did, why is Rose telling Carolina that? Why? Like, literally why? And then Rose was like, well, that's what I thought I heard. Now I'm freaking out because I'm not going to get a rose. And it's like, it doesn't matter if that's what you heard. Why'd you tell her? That's like, she should have gone home. Like, she should have gone home. She just pissed me off now, and I cannot stand her. I can't believe that. Like, her being like, well, that's what I thought I heard. That's not what I have an issue with. I have an issue with you telling Carolina that. That's so mean, girl. Am I the one that thinks that? Because everyone was hating on Grant and being like, well, you did say that, Grant. And it's like, okay, first of all, he really didn't. Second of all, it doesn't matter if he did or did not. Why would she? Like, I can't get over it. I genuinely, like, can't. And I'm sure this is going to keep going on into next week. Oh my gosh, these people. Idiots. Yeah, so that was that episode. A little crazy, but those are all the stories we have for today. And then I wrote down Chloe for Bachelorette, but we don't have a Bachelorette, which is fine, honestly. I really hope we'll have a Paradise, because Paradise is so freaking good. But Anyway, those are all the stories for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. I definitely enjoyed sitting down and chatting with you guys. As always, go follow the Instagram, like the YouTube video, subscribe to the YouTube video, 5 stars on Spotify, Apple, all the fun stuff. Yeah, I love you guys so much, and I will see you back here next Sunday, not Saturday, for some more hot gossip, hot takes, stories, and advice. So I'll have you saying literally what. Love you. Bye, guys.